Yeah, it's been really difficult. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. We're lucky if we can go a week, 3 days without someone defecating in our doorstep. We have to sweep foils out every single morning. I feel like statements have been made that help is coming. For the leaders of Spokane, we need your help. This is the worst it's ever been. But unfortunately, this is even worse than the worst it's ever been. It's unreal, actually. I didn't even know it could get this bad here. Fentanyl, 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 fentanyl. Groups of people, no bigger than 3 or 4 at a time, usually gathered, sometimes 10 to 20. Fentanyl. You get to this point where you look out and you see it getting worse. You just have to wonder where the priorities really are. You have to wonder what's being done behind the scenes that's just...
You come to work and you see needles, you see garbage, feces and urine and needles, foils everywhere. You feel like you should just buck up and deal with it, and you do. But day after day after day, month after month of doing this, it becomes kind of a death of 1,000 cuts. After a while, you get angry. I would say if your compassion runs deep, as deep as it should, letting people live on the street is the least compassionate thing we could do. That's the worst possible place. The lifespan of someone on the street is months. And that's not compassion. Compassion is getting them to where we can give them services that they need today and not allow them to, or even encourage them to facilitate their life on the street. Let's get that done, because that's killing them. The lives are being destroyed. But livelihoods are also being destroyed.
Kimberly Hagen does commercial property management, brokerage and sales and maintenance. We have about 15 million square feet under management, which is about $1 billion in asset value. So when we talk about marketing downtown in particular, and we're trying to sell office space, you get 2 responses. One, you get a company that says we're not even going to consider it because they've been downtown and they're afraid, or they come downtown and they drive through the viaduct and they see the homelessness and they see the vagrancy and they see the people passed out on the sidewalks, and they say we're done. We're not going to look downtown because we don't want to put our employees in that type of environment. Your elected officials have to understand it's not just an inconvenience that buildings are vacant. It's true tax revenue and sales tax revenue that's not coming into the city.
Our bank is headquartered in downtown Spokane, right across from beautiful Riverfront Park. We own a building with 50,000 square feet, and despite the will of 75% of the voters of Spokane, a new ordinance was put in place just several weeks ago, referred to as the Home Ordinance. Unfortunately, our new daily reality right here across from Riverfront Park has been having all kinds of open drug use and loiterers in groups as large as 20, 25 people, threatening and intimidating our employees and our customers. Our branch manager always tries to go out and be polite and ask them if they would move on, that they're making our customers very uncomfortable and afraid to enter, and they say, no, we don't have to do that. We know there's a new law in the books that allows us to do whatever we want. And they've become so aggressive that not only will they not leave, but they're actually climbing on our ATM, climbing up above on our signage to the building, and just acting like they can do whatever they want, knowing that there'll be no repercussions and that they are the ones in control. The problem isn't that the police don't care. The police do care, but their hands are tied by this new ordinance that was put in place by City Council in August of 2025. And there's absolutely nothing the police, the Downtown Spokane Partnership, Crime Check, or anyone else can do.
We're all seeing some really difficult things happening with homelessness in Spokane right now. We see people struggling and often dying on our streets and sidewalks, and we know that's happening. We're the #2 overdose death rate in America. We also know our citizens are not doing well. They're feeling frightened. They don't have safety. We've had 3 large surveys recently saying the #1 issue for over 80% of our citizens is they don't feel safe in their community, in their neighborhoods. #3, we know that the businesses are not doing well here. We see businesses leaving, we see the empty storefronts, and we also know that we have a 32% vacancy rate in commercial office space. That's over 500,000 square feet and over 3,000 jobs in downtown Spokane alone. We have to do something about this. We can all agree on that. And the narrative that's going around that I'm hearing is there's nothing we can do about it. It's a national problem. We just have to wait. And we know that's false. We see cities all across the country that are not dealing with these same problems. So we have to ask ourselves what the cities like Salt Lake, Denver, Wichita, Boise, what are they doing differently? And what they're doing differently, two things we hear from all of them, is they're saying no to behaviors in our public places like open drug use, obstruction, camping, but they're also saying yes to services to help people to get out of the situation they're in and deal with addiction and unresolved behavioral health issues. So if we know that has to happen, that that's what other cities are doing, how do we do that here? We've talked about another citizen initiative like Proposition 1, 75% approval, but we also know the mayor and city council could make these changes tomorrow. And so with that in mind, we've come up with a 75% leadership pledge where we're asking our 6 council candidates to say that they will pick up these changes and legislate them on the dais if they become council members.
In our first year, SBA has worked hard to advocate for our business community. One of the issues we tackled was House Bill 1380. HB 1380 would have legalized camping on public property around the state, having a huge negative economic impact for our business community. SBA commissioned Dr. Robert Marbut to conduct an in-depth study of street-level homelessness and addiction in Spokane. Dr. Robert Marbut is the leading expert on homelessness and addiction in the United States, and he discovered that almost 75% of the people sleeping on our streets have no connection to Spokane. Dr. Marbut said because of the current policies addressing street-level homelessness, the way people exit addiction in Spokane is to die. We need new policies to get people off the street and into recovery programs. In my first 5 months in Spokane, I've testified before City Council 7 times. Much of this testimony is focused on enforcement of no sit, no lie in open drug use. Our local news in Spokane recently reported about camping violations in Spokane. In South Spokane alone, 120 calls, 212 contacts, and 30 repeat offenders with 0 arrests. That's because Spokane police are no longer allowed to arrest or cite people for camping on our sidewalks.
What are we missing? What got lost along the way about what people are guests here? We do what we can to show hospitality to our guests, and that starts with how we take care of the house when the guests show up.
One of the things I just love about Spokane is our beautiful downtown. We are so blessed to have this, and we need to make sure and preserve and protect it.
We have to get control back of our streets and our sidewalks for people to feel safe again.
Your elected officials have to manage the crime and the homelessness and those things that the business community doesn't have authority to manage.
The final question I get asked as a former CFO of the city is, can we afford fixing this problem? And we absolutely have the resources to do this, but we have to find the resolve, the collaboration, and with those resources, Spokane can become the city that is compassionate, that is safe, and that is thriving again.
SBA will continue to be a watchman on the wall advocating for our business community, allowing you to do what you do best, run successful businesses that have a positive economic impact for Spokane and the region.